Right. We look at other past paper question we can attempt. I think this value chain question is already done, no? Last week you may have done that one. Yes. The next one, June 2017 paper. June 2017 paper, question number 6, part C. Question number 6, part C. June 2017 paper, question number 6, part C. Here the question is, discuss how Star Apparel could benefit by introducing an online business platform for their customers. How can we address these questions? Have we discussed benefit? Online business platform mean here example talk about B2C business, no? B2C business. Have we discussed benefit? No. We didn't discuss the benefit. Then how can you develop an answer? So you have to mainly develop the answer based on 4.2. How the internet has changed B2C business. That should be the main area you have to consider. So one of the benefit they will receive is direct contact with the customer, no? It allow them to directly contact with the customer. Then it provide convenience for the consumer. So small organization like this can succeed. Then they can do the transaction very quickly. Speed of transactions. Even virtual business, no? They can have a virtual business model. These are some of the benefits examiner has stated. In addition to those things, examiner has talked about few other points also. One point he is talking about is a growth in business. The company can increase sales volume by catering to unknown territories. No, should be advantage, no. You can increase your revenue, no, by catering to some of the customer who can't be approached previously, no. That the other benefit the examiner has identified. Then another benefit he has identified is reduce the number of outlet and other administration costs. They can reduce number of outlet. Physical outlet can be reduced. It can be replaced through online business. That's the other point he has stated. But nothing to worry, no. So based on these points, you can provide enough facilities, enough point actually. Enough point can be provided. Additionally, you can talk about that revenue and other aspects. Right. So please do that one also at home. Homework question. Now I have already discussed the answer also. Then much convenient for you to develop a good answer. Then June 2018 paper, question number 5. June 2018 paper, question number 5. June 2018 paper, question number 5. Part A, explain the best e-commerce business model Alpa can use to make the online operation a viable business solution. Right, take 3 minutes, go through the facts and identify the best model. What is the best e-commerce model for them? What are the options? Can't be advertising model, no? Intermediate model can't be. Merchant model or manufacturer model. One of them. Manufacturer model. Examiner says merchant model. One of them can be selected. One can argue this is manufacturer model because they manufacture goods, no? But the other assumption is probably they may import, no? Most of them are import and then sell it, no? So based on that, you can talk about the merchant model also, right? So one of the option, select one of the option, merchant or manufacturer model, right? Then B, what is the B part? Discuss 4 main issues Alpa should consider before starting its e-commerce operations. From where you have to find the answer? Again, 4.1, no? Issues to consider. You have to talk about 4 issues they have to consider. Value proposition, revenue, market opportunity, competitive environment, competitive advantage, market strategy. So please write an answer on that at home. Similar question. Then pay on it, then may the Kali one. Now, second time, no, you saw the same thing. 4.2 also you saw 2 times. Those are the points that you normally want to study. Even idea එකක් ගන්න මේ point පාඩම් කරන්න ඕන මොනවද? ඒක මම කියන්නේ මේක 1 hour work කියලා. Normally you have to spend 1 hour. For example, internet www. Will those be tested? Email, not practical, no. Everyone know that. The low possibility, no. So, therefore, please make sure you will study. For example, 4.3 also, disintermediation, reintermediation. ඒවා නිකන් කියෝගෙන යනවා විතරයි. දන්න අර්ථයක් ගත්තාම ඔලුවට එච්චරයි. ඒවා අහන්න විදිහක් නැහැනේ. අහන්න එක්සෑම් ලෙක්චර් ප්‍රිපර් නැහැනේ. ඔක ලකුණු දෙකකට තුනකට අහන්න පුළුවන් වුණා. Will he ask what is disintermediation and reintermediation? At this level it's not possible, no. Not practical. Right. So with that we'll move to the next B2B e-business. B2B e-business. Now we have completed B2C. Now we are moving to B2B. So here we are going to discuss about B2B transactions. Earlier we talked about B2C. That means business to consumer, no? Here we talk about business to business transactions. For example, purchasing raw material by manufacturer. India, a particular manufacturer purchase raw material from a supplier. So business to business transactions. Right. So first of all, we'll look at about the different stages of development of e-business, development of B2B e-business, development of B2B e-business. So what are the different stages? Right, we'll start from the first one. The starting point is emission or broadcast. First stage is emission or broadcast. And this is starting point. Look at this. Here, a particular organization maintain a website that is only for information purpose. What a business organization can do is they can search, then identify the website and they can read some of the informations. But they can't do any interactions. Transaction can't be performed. That is the starting point. Broadcast, that's why the broadcast word is used. තොරතුරු ටිකක් තියෙනවා වෙබ්සයිට් එකක් තියෙනවා වෙබ්සයිට් එකේ උදාහරණයක් විදිහට භාණ්ඩ හා සේවා ටික. What are the goods they sell? That information is available. That's all. You can't do any transaction with them. That's the starting point. Right? Then the second one is interactions. Interactions. Interact mean, you know, deal, no? Interaction mean now not only see, they can perform some, they can have some interaction with the organizations. Still not a transaction, right? Still not a transaction. For example, they can send a email and raise a query from them. Or within the website there may be a area to put a query. Then they will answer to the query. Right? Then feedback can be provided. Customer feedback can be provided. Like that. Right? So interactions, that's the second stage. But still no online facilities provided. Right? The third one is transaction. Third stage is transactions. Now the website provides the online facility. Website provides the opportunity to purchase good online. For example, what manufacturer can do is they can log to the website and make a purchasing online. That is transactions. Now more development, no? Right? Third stage is more development. Then the fourth one is collaborations. Fourth one is collaborations. Now look at that one. Collaborate mean connect each other, no? Now here there is more relationship, more connected relationship is available. For example, the company intranet may be open for selected customers to enter. Supplier may allow manufacturer to enter to their intranets and do the transaction through that. Right? Now it is a more connectivity is there. That's why collaboration word is used. Here, within the website you do a transaction, but here not only that, now you trust them and more relationship is there. So you allow the internet also to enter and do some business transaction. There is collaborations. Right. Look at the induction part. Companies also use the internet to communicate with other businesses. Some B2B business take the form of e-commerce, but there is also extensive sharing of information, for example, using electronic data interchange or through extranet connections. Then 5.1, development of B2B business. Rafford and Jaworski, Jaworski suggests a 4-stage model of the evolution of internet-based B2B business. They argue that in general, a company goes through these stages in utilizing the internet for its business-to-business activities. First one, emission broadcast. The company begins by creating an informational website. That's the keyword. Informational website. Informational website for its client. The second one is interactions. Use the internet for interaction with customers such as email, customer surveys and feedback. Now you can interact each other. Then transaction, the use of the internet to take, manage and support transaction with customers such as online ordering system. And now it support the transaction. Example, online purchasing facility is provided. Fourth one is collaborations. The use of the internet to provide inter-organizational activities. Look at that one. Inter-organizational activities that can be assessed and utilized by the company and its trading partners. You can write example, within bracket example, setting up an extranet. Setting up an extranet. Example, setting up an extranet. Right. Again, what about this? Will examiner test. What are the different stages of B2? B business. Very low possibility, no? Am I correct? But very simple, no? Make vachan ටික විතරයි මතක තියාගන්න. Emission, interaction, transaction, collaboration. 2-minute work. So you have to, from the word itself, you can remember the meaning, no? විනාඩි 2යි යන්නේ මේක පාඩම් කරන්න. This very easy thing. Right? The next one, B2B application. That can be targeted by the examiner. Is an area normally examiner can raise a question from this. Right. What are the B2B applications? Different type of application regarding the B2B transactions. B2B applications. Right, the first one is supply chain management. Right. At the moment, you may not have a proper knowledge on supply chain management, right? But our next topic is supply chain management. When we discuss that topic, you will get the required knowledge. Now, for understanding purpose, I will explain what is supply chain. In a supply chain, we identify different partners who deal with the business organizations. For an example, if I take very simple supply chain, you can find supplier, you can find manufacturer, then you can find the final consumer. It's a very simple supply chain. There's a manufacturer, he gets the raw material from the supplier, then sell it to the final consumer, right? So within this, there may be some additional parties. In a broad supply chain system, you may find distributors, wholesalers, retailers. There are different parties you can find. How can you use B2B applications for supply chain management purpose? For example, these three parties can be connected through a system. Supplier, manufacturer, and final consumer can be connected with a system. You can have a inventory management and ordering system. You can have inventory and ordering system. When you have connected through that one, for example, supplier can see the number of goods available with the manufacturer, right? From the system, he know the stock level available with the manufacturer. At the same time, when customer purchase a product, is connected this system, ordering system, right? Then automatically what happened, this inventory level is come down, no? Manufacturer, that information is visible to the supplier. With the system itself, you can define a reorder level also. It can be automatic reorder. Ordering may be done automatically. When the manufacturer inventory level come down to a particular level, you know about the buffer stocks, no? Right? He may have a buffer stock, right, at a particular level. So then automatically, automatic purchasing will be done. So purchasing requisition will be sent to the supply automatically, right? Then accordingly, supply can arrange the good to the manufacturer. Now see, now we have used this technology, no, for this particular purpose, for the supply chain management. The next one is customer relationship management. Second one is customer relationship management. Customer relationship management. CRM purpose. CRM, customer relationship management. Still we have not discussed about CRM. We will discuss that one in marketing. Under the CRM, the objective is to have a long-term relationship with the customer. The objective of customer relationship management is to have a long-term relationship with the customer. In other words, our objective is on retention of existing customer. We try to retain the existing customer rather than attracting a new customer, because we believe by keeping the existing customer for a long period, we can get more value for, or more revenue from the customer. Technology can be used for CRM purpose. Sometimes you may have experience also. I think everyone has dealt with supermarket. In most of the supermarket, you are given a loyalty card. Oh, nowadays you don't want to have a physical card. Your phone number is connected with that, no? Every time you transact with them, they ask you a mobile phone, and your purchasing is recorded. Am I correct? That is CRM system. You don't know, they can find the history of your transactions from that loyalty card. They know what type of item you are more interested. That information is available. Even the frequency of your purchasing can also be tracked by them. That is CRM system. Another example is, if you call to Pizza Hut or Domino's, they also have CRM system. Your phone number is connected with that one. The first day they may ask your name, right? After that they will never ask your name. Every time when you call, they will call your name. That is customer relationship management. How they know about your name? Because that is available in the system. That data is visible for them. When you call, automatically the CRM software provide you informations. Your sales records are even available within the systems, right? So now see, better service can be provided to the customer through that one. Later we'll discuss actually CRM software in detail. That is another applications. Then another one is outsourcing. 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 What is outsource? Some of the internal work is right, outsourced to a third party, no? Under the outsourcing. You get a help of a third party to do the internal works, no? For example, IT functions, finance functions. Very common outsourcing work these days. So you can use technology for outsourcing work. One of the good example is accounting. Someone can do your accounting work, no, in a remote location. That party may not be located in your premises. They access the system and do the accounting work, preparations. Even this BPO industry, no, they do that work, no, outsourcing work. Now, thanks to the system, you can monitor their activities. For example, you can check the progress of the work. For example, financial statement, you can check what are the finance statement they have already completed. The current status can be found. So it provides better controlling tool for organization. Technology help on this matter also, outsourcing. The next one is e-procurement. Fourth one is e-procurement. So we'll discuss e-procurement later in details. Right, look at the note. B2B applications. Example of B2B applications of e-business are as follows. First one, supply chain management. Supply chain management. By linking system and exchanging information, companies are able to communicate more easily with suppliers and customers. Better information can be used to make supply chain operation more efficient. Some example given. No? For example, order scheduling and just-in-time purchasing are more practical when supplier and customer have linked computer system for exchanging information. I gave example on that, how it can work in practice. Then customer relationship management. A company can use information linked with major customers to improve the relationship and understanding with the customer. You can have a better relationship now. Then outsourcing. Companies may be more willing to outsource some of their activities to external suppliers when they have linked computer system. With connected system, it is easier to monitor the performance of suppliers of outsourced services. You can monitor their work and to exchange operational informations. Then e-procurement, so we'll discuss that later. Right, this was also tested in your exam. So we'll look at that question also. June 2017 paper, question number 6, part B. June 2017 paper, question number 6, part B. Discuss how Star Apparel could use B2B application of e-business to further improve its operations. B2B applications. Answer should be developed on this, based on this. Please do that one also at home as a homework questions. Right. Please do and come. Atha wadanne nikan boruna man katha kalata. Your analytical skill will never be improved. දැන් මට දැන් analytical skill develop කළා වඩන්නේ නැහැ වලපල්ලට තමයි develop කරන්න තියෙන්නේ. Right? Your case is a different story. Right? You have to develop your one. Right? Right. Then e-procurement. This is a small issue. You have been given supply chain management tutorial, no? Please take that tutorial also. Page number 21. Page number 21. E-procurement is there, no? In supply chain management also. Am I correct? Right. So, what is the option? Do I want to cover now or will I come with the e-procurement in the supply chain? I think better approach is to cover with the supply chain. That is more detailed actually. Right? So, can you give a reference on that? E-procurement. So, we'll be covered with the supply chain management. But 6.3 I have to discuss. Other part will be covered with the supply chain management. Right, no? Benefit also there, no? Right. So, we'll discuss that part with the supply chain management. Now I am moving to 6.3, model for e-procurement. Model for e-procurement. Model for e-procurement. Since you don't have much idea on e-procurement, I will define it. Then only I will move to this, right? E-procurement. E-procurement. What is procurement? You remember we covered that one with the value chain. Under procurement, what happened? Purchasing of material and other item, no? With from suppliers, no? Activity related to purchasing of material and other item from suppliers. We identify as procurement, no? For example, calling quotation from suppliers, evaluation of those quotations, then selection of the supplier, no? Those are some of the examples for procurement activity. Here we talk about e-procurement, electronic procurement, right? So, if you do the same by electronic mean, so that can be emphasized as e-procurement. For example, if you are going to purchase good via internet or by using system like EDI, electronic data interchange, there is an example for e-procurement activity, right? Same thing, right? Procurement activity is done through electronic means. Use some of the electronic method like internet or EDI system for that particular purpose. Right. Here we discuss under 6.3 model for e-procurements. What are the different model available for e-procurement work? Model for e-procurement. First one is public web. What is public web? Internet, no? World Wide Web. Right? World Wide Web. What is this? A particular manufacturer, for example, a particular manufacturer enter to the internet, search suppliers, then purchase goods. Normal job. Do they have a relationship? No. They don't have a relationships. Right? That's the first model. Then the next one is exchange. Exchange. You know what is exchange house, no? Exchange house? No? You are learning finance management, no? FM? Forex? Huh? Forex transactions, for example, take place in exchange houses, no? Through exchange houses, right? What is exchange actually? Here also, right, a particular supplier purchase good in internet, but the transaction is done through a particular third-party marketplace. Third-party marketplace. A third party may maintain a website. Within the website, there are some suppliers who provide goods. Then manufacturer enter to this particular website. Then they purchase the good from selected manufacturers. Sorry, selected suppliers. Selected suppliers, they regularly deal, but is there any contractual agreement? No, there is no contractual agreement. Only thing is they do the transaction through a third party marketplace. But here there was no such things, no? You just search and find the supply and purchase the goods. Right. Then the third one is supplier centric. Supplier centric. Look at the word supplier centric. Centric mean මධ්‍යගත වෙලා තියෙනවා කියන එකනේ. Supplier පැත්තට බර වැඩි කියන එකනේ. Supplier centric. Here what happened is a particular supplier allow manufacturer to enter to their systems. Enter into their systems. You know, in that scenario, supplier website become extranets. They allow manufacturer enter to their internal network and do the transactions. That's why it is called supplier centric. Already that is covered, no? Username and password is normally given, no? Username and password is given. Through that one, supplier recognize the manufacturer, no? Then allow do certain transaction. For example, a list of item will be shown. From the item he can select what are the item he want to purchase, and purchasing order can also be done. That is supplier centric. Right. The next one is buyer centric. Buyer centric. Is a buyer centric mean right? With the buyer, for example, manufacturer, right? Manufacturer, within their system there are some softwares available. From these software, for example, the connectivity can be established through these softwares. We'll say normally they purchase good from suppose 6 suppliers. Within their system, the software is available to enter to their internal network. You select whatever supply you prefer, select, and through that one you do the transactions. Did you get the point? Yeah, buyer-centric mean within the buyer itself, right? You have that software installed, right? You'll say there are 6 suppliers a particular manufacturer normally purchase. Then through that one you connect to their intranet and do the transactions. Earlier case supply-centric, you go to the supplier website and enter, no? Now the connectivity can be established from the buyer place. But more option is available for buyer now, right? That is buyer-centrics. Then the next one is B2B marketplace. B2B marketplace. B2B marketplace, this is similar to exchange, but here more relationship is there. Right? You do the transaction through a third-party marketplace, but now a contractual agreement is there. Right? Contractual agreement is there. More bond is available between 2 entities. For example, manufacturer and the supplier, they have more contractual relationship now. Right? Exchange and B2B is similar. Here also we did a third-party transaction. No, we go to a third-party website and through that the transaction was executed. No, but there was no contractual relationship. No, but here there is a contractual relationship available. Right, look at this model for e-procurement. Public web. Individual buyers find individual suppliers on the World Wide Web and make a purchase. There is no structural relation, that's the key word, no relationship. There is no structural relationship between buyer and supplier. Then exchange. Suppliers and buyers trade through a third-party open marketplace. That's the key word, third-party open marketplace. But they have no structural relationship. They don't have any relationship. Even though they may regularly deal with each other, no relationship exists. The supply-centric, an individual supplier gives access to its website or computer system to buying organization for a free negotiated product range. Normally, you may have identified a list, no, of items they normally purchase, and for those items they can assess and make the purchasing. Buyer and supplier have a contractual relationship. Buyer-centric individual companies have contract with a number of different suppliers. See, different suppliers. The catalog and ordering system are maintained within the buying organization. That system is software is installed with the buying organization. Then they can select whatever the supplier they prefer and can do the purchasing. The system is fully integrated into a corporate financial control and reporting system. Then B2B marketplace, an independent third party has agreement with a number of buying and supplying organizations. Now you have agreement. So you have buyers and supplier deal with each other through a marketplace. This marketplace, similar to this, no? Second one, no? But agreement is there, available now. More relationship now. Both are bound by agreement with the marketplace. Supplier and the manufacturer are bound through the agreement. Shall I go some additional point on that B2B marketplace? Right, some point. Have more control over, have more control over, have more control over, have more control over, have more control over participation in the selling or buying transaction, selling and buying transactions. Right. Then we can move to topic number 7, managing research and development. India, the most important one is 7.3. Other part are inductions, and I have to discuss. Right. Managing research and development. This also has been tested. 7.3 has been tested few time in your exam. Right, 7.3. Research and development. Research and development. Why research and development play an important role in organizations? What are the key reasons? These are known things. What is the outcome of research and development? Innovations. Innovation is the outcome of research and development. Innovation can provide a competitive advantage to the organizations. If you look at about the world, main organizations, main businesses, most of them have focused on continuous innovations. One of the good example is Apple. Apple brand value is almost 1.5 times compared to the second best. Second best one is the Google. So if you look at about Apple is the number 1 brand in the world. Number 2 brand is Google. Number 3 is Facebook. So all are based on innovations. That's why, as a nation, we are in this particular situation. No? What are the innovation we can talk as a nation? Do we have innovations? We don't have. That's why we are in this current state, no? I remember one nice article written by Lee Kuan Yew, former Singapore president. Everyone know that, no? When I say Lee Kuan Yew. India, he talk about the secret of US people. American. You see, as a nation, no one can beat US. The main contributor factor on that one is the entrepreneurial mentality of the American people. In USA, right, school kids talk about the innovation they can make. When students enter the university, the first year they think about the business they can start. Sometimes some people final year they may have tested 4 to 5 businesses already. Entrepreneurial mentality, right? If you look at about the world, he gave a lot of example. One example is 1960s, 50s and 60s, US people completely changed the world. One guy changed the whole world, that is IBM. Technology product, innovation product was introduced and whole world was changing. Then again he talk about and tell that in 70s American economy was struggling, and again another entrepreneur came, Bill Gates, and introduced the Microsoft and again captured the whole world. Innovations. Now also, for example, Tesla. Tesla is a good example. They completely changed the whole car industry. Again, American-based entrepreneur. Very difficult to defeat US people. Innovations, no? Innovation provide competitive advantage for the organizations. That's true. Innovation is a result of the research and development. But innovation is always risky. Why it is always risky? You have to spend a lot of money on research and development to make innovation. If product is not accepted in the marketplace, that will be a cost to the organization. Therefore, it should be carefully selected. Otherwise, it will be a waste to the organizations. So, if you look at research and development, what is the relationship between these two? Are there any relationship? Exit. First take place development, no research. Research, no. First research, then outcome of the research will be used, no, to develop a particular products, no, innovations, no. So normally first take place the research, then outcome of the research will be used for the development purpose. That will be in the second stage. Right, if you look at the research type, there are two types of research we can identify. What are two types of research we can identify? One is pure research. Other one is applied research. Research can be divided into two main groups: pure research or applied research. Pure research is sometimes called as basic research also. Basic research also. What is the difference between pure and applied research? Pure research is conducted to expand the knowledge. Pure research is conducted to expand the knowledge. For example, someone can conduct a research to find out how world was created. Research conduct to find out how world was created. Most academic type of research are example for pure research. Academic people conduct pure research. Their objective is to expand the knowledge. They come up with different business model. No, you may have found, no, different writers, right? They conduct research and then introduce a model to the world, right? So those are pure research. Applied research. Look at the next one. Applied. Applied research is conducted to find a solution for existing problems. Applied research is conducted to find a solution for an existing problem. For an example, a business organization may conduct a research to find out the reason for decline in sales income. If the business income has come down, they may conduct a research to find out the reason for that. That's an example for applied research. The medical practitioners may conduct research to find out some medicine for some diseases. Right? Applied research. A lot of research are going on now to find out some medicine for some diseases. Clear? But very low possibility to test in your exam. But you know now, no? Just pure and apply. වචන මේක මතක තියාගන්න. apply කියව ගමන් මොකද? තියෙන ප්‍රශ්නෙට උත්තරය කියලා මතක තියාගන්න. pure කියව ගමන් pure කියන්නේ නේද? pure කියලා කියනවනේ. ආදරේ pure කියලා කියනවනේ. So pure කියන්නේ මොකද්ද? මතක තියාගන්න. Normally conduct to expand the knowledge. Right. So we'll look at the induction part. Research and development can be an important source of innovation for companies. Successful innovation in product or processes can create a competitive advantage and create value for the company. So innovation can provide a competitive advantage. However, many research projects take a long time to complete. It normally takes time and are expensive. Many new products development fail to reach the stage of market launch. Some new product launch onto the market are commercial failures. Even Google have some project Google Glass is a good example for commercial failure. Do you know about that project? Google Glass fail in the marketplace. Good example. Even good organization fail. Right? Then R&D, research and development must therefore be managed carefully to ensure that the additional profit obtained from selling new product do not exceed their R&D costs. You should get more benefit than the cost, no? Research may be pure or applied. Research differ from development. Then pure research, look at the pure research. I told you that is called basic research. Another name for the same is fundamental research. Basic or fundamental research. Basic or fundamental research. Look at the comment. This is original research to obtain new scientific or technical knowledge or understanding. See, new scientific or technical knowledge or understanding. Simply you can remember, the objective is to expand the knowledge. That's the objective, expand the knowledge. I give example. You can conduct a research to find out how universe begin. That's a good example, right? So then you can expand the knowledge, right? There is no obvious commercial or practical end in view. You don't have any practical end. A large proportion of pure research is government funded or carried out in universities. University research are example for this. Theory ni campus wala kaya karane ni. They are not going to find solution, no. They just introduce model, no. After conducting research. Right, then apply research. This is also original research work like pure research, but it has a specific practical aim or applications, which often has a commercial aspects. For example, specific medical research could eventually lead to the development of new medicine. You conduct research to find out the reason for a particular disease, and you may come up with a medicine for that. Applied research in aspect of space technology could eventually have commercial applications. For example, the development of material with new physical characteristics. Shall I go additional sentence on this? Write this. Apply research is being conducted. Apply research is being conducted. Is being conducted. Is being conducted to find a solution, to find a solution, to find a solution for an existing problem, for an existing problem. Example, improve agricultural crop productions. Example, improve agricultural crop productions. Improve agricultural crop, CROP, no? Paladawa kinika ne? Crop productions. The second example, treat or cure. Treat, T-R-E-A-T, or cure, C-U-R-E, cure a specific disease. A specific disease. There are local guys, no, they conduct research. Mandaka even they can get karno beta khoyagat like diabetes sold. Kaurut khoyagat loke palanu atawada. He found makar gahak khoyagan mandaka at karno TV. I saw that. They conduct applied research, no? How beautiful. Right. Next one is development. Development. What is development? Look at the development. This is the use of existing scientific and technical knowledge to produce New product co-processors. Here you make the innovation, no? You use the knowledge you have gained from the research and then you convert into a new products. Produce new product co-processors with the intention of progressing them to commercial production or commercial operations. Objective is to sell them in the marketplace. Commercial productions. Then R&D, particularly important industries where commercial success depend heavily on an ability to bring a succession of innovative product to market and market them successfully. The pharmaceutical industry where leading companies rely on success in developing new drugs and medicine is an obvious example. Industry like pharmaceutical industry, this is very important. Organization may employ specialist R&D staff to conduct research and development work. They may be organized in a separate functional department of their own. Within the organization, you may have a special department to conduct research and development activity. And normally very difficult to find people for these functions. Very difficult to find. I remember when I was at the BOC, they advertised 3 times to find a head for the research department. The qualification was a PhD. And some of the experience in research failed 3 times to find a head. Right? So very difficult to find people. But later they found someone internally. Internal guy was there who is having a PhD, then he was appointed as the head. It took some time. After 5 years, I think. They found the solution. Right. Look at the next. A different approach is for a company to provide finance to support a research project by a university research department or private research organizations. Many people get the help of university people, no, to conduct research, especially companies in Sri Lanka also. Then there are some private research organizations like Nielsen. They connect with this advertising research, Nielsen, right? In return, the company will be given exclusive right to the commercial exploitation of any new inventions or intellectual property that emerge from the research. From that, they may come up with some inventions. They may be organized in a separate functional department of their own. In an organization run on a product division basis, R&D staff may be employed by each divisions. It can be a separate department or within the each product, you may have some research department. All right. Then product research, new product development. What is that? Product research, new product development. And this is a story actually. Right? You have to just go through. The induction also very simple thing. Never tested. Test කරන්න බෑනේ. එකම දේ අහන්න පුළුවන් ලකුණු දෙකකට what is difference between pure and applied research. But at your level, low possibility to test that one. So we'll move to the next one. Product research, new product development. Right. Normally, outcome of the research is used for product development. In large organizations, they conduct so many research, then they identify the best outcome of them, and good ideas are converted into a product. But here, you must be very careful. When you're doing this product development, at each stage, costs incur. And the operation management will discuss the different stages we have to pass through when we are doing this product development. If you have selected wrong idea and continue with that wrong idea, then what will happen? You may invest a lot of money to develop a new product. But when you launch the product, if it is not tested by the customer, it will be a failure to the organizations. Therefore, it is very important for organization to identify more worth projects. In other words, project which can give a substantial return to the organization. For that purpose, organization should have a proper mechanisms to identify the best product ideas. Otherwise, it will be a loss to the organization. I give example now. See, organization like Google also fail. Google Glass is a good example, right? So, not only a small organization, no. If Google organization like Google also fail, that indicate that something wrong with that, right? If you look at about this new product development, this new product development have the features of a project. Features of a project. Later we'll discuss project under the operation management. In a project, there are three concentrate you have to consider. There are three elements you have to concentrate. You have learned in the executive level, at executive level, project management. Do you remember? Yes. Now I am lecturing on lecturing for executive students. Therefore, I know you have already learned on that, right? So what are the three considerations in a project? Three things. One is objectives, no? Objectives, time, cost. These are the three main considerations of a project. At the end of the project should deliver what is expected. Or in other words, project objective should be fulfilled. That is one thing that should happen. Then at the same time, project should be completed on time, not like Sri Lankan project. I remember that few months back, right? This identity card department was planned to come to BOC. Then I heard about digital ID for so many years. Then I call and check whether digital ID is given. They say, yes, digital ID card is given. Then I asked what is digital. I mean, photo එක දාලා ලස්සනට පොඩි card එකක් දෙන එක තමයි digital එක. Then I asked because that is not the digital one, no. They say that even informations are stored in a database. තාම ඒක දුවනවා. තාම ඒක ඉවර නැහැ. It was planned in 2016. Still going on. So not like that, no. Normally you have to complete the project on time. Right, at the same time, project should be completed within the given cost. Again, I don't want to talk about that one, no. We say highway cost is 100 million like that, but end up with 300 billion, no. In Sri Lanka, that happened no so openly. So that is another objective. Project should be complete within the cost. In a new product development also, you have to achieve the objectives that should be complete within the expected time period. At the same time, should be complete within the expected cost. These three are more important considerations. Right, we'll look at about that. The new product development. The new product development process must be carefully managed and controlled. New products are major source of competitive advantage, but can cost a great deal of money to bring to the market. A screening process is necessary to ensure that resources are concentrated on projects with a high probability of success. You identify what are the best projects which can be continued and not wasted on those that have poor prospects. That is one point it is highlighted. A screening process should also help management to carry out a regular review of the progress of development work on a new product. Time you have to check the progress of each work. We'll discuss that one in detail under the product development stages. In many ways, development of a new product is a form of project, and principles of project management should apply. In project management, three critical issues are, what are the three critical issues? First one, achieving the project objectives. Second one, completing the project on time. Third one, keeping spending on the project within the budget. Budget means the cost element, within the given cost. If it seems unlikely that a project will achieve its objective, it may be abandoned without completing it. If you found that it's not worth, go ahead, then you have to abandon that one. No? Abandon mean athara danawa කියන එක නේ. Right? Abandon without completing it. In the same way, it may be decided that a new product development project will not achieve its intended objective, providing value to the customer and profit for the company. If so, development work should be ended to save further wasted spending. At a development stage also, you may stop that one. Then next one, 7.2, stages in development management control. Right, shall we go through that also? Stage in development management control. New product development project should be reviewed at specific stages in the development work. Now you may not have idea, right? Later we'll discuss, right? There are 8 steps in a new development. Starting point is idea generations, right? Idea screening, right? Then you have to do business analysis, then pilot testing, right? So like that, there are 8 stages we have to go through. At each stage, you have to check whether it is worth to continue it. If it is not worth to continue it, at that particular moment you have to stop it. Why? When you further, right, when you are further going actually, so what will happen is the cost will be incurred. If at the end, if product is not successful in the marketplace, it will be a waste. That's the reasons. Right, new product development project should be reviewed at specific stages in the development work. For example, screening may take place when the product design idea is first submitted for approval. When the idea was submitted, you will do the screening work. You will evaluate the ideas, whether it is worth to continue. Some ideas may not be practical. For example, one can say, we can develop a car, flying car, how beautiful. It can provide a solution to the traffic. That's a good idea, no? But practically when you evaluate, the technology may not be available to do that. Right? So then it can't be continued, no? Like that. Screening may take place when the product design idea is first submitted for approval. When the final design is submitted for approval, when a prototype of new product has been developed and tested, and after initial market research on the new product has been carried out. The main thing is but when we discuss the stages, you will get a good idea on this. At each stage, what you have to remember is at each stage, we have to check whether it is worth to continue. That's the meaning here. Right. At each stage, the option to hold the development work may be taken in order to save cost. If the product now seems to be high risk and likely to achieve commercial success. Then 7.3, problem with research and development. That is important. Put a star mark on that. Problem with R&D, research and development. This has been tested one time actually. Right. So what are the problems? Right. The first one is organization and management. First issue is organization and management. Now, if you look at about this R&D work, they provide a supporting role. Within the organization, they want to connect with some other departments. For example, they have to regularly deal with 2 departments. One is production department Other one is marketing department. For example, ideas for the new product may come from the marketing people. They normally closely interact with the customers. Right? Therefore, there should be a proper link between marketing and the R&D. At the same time, after you have made the innovations, that will be produced by whom? Production department, no? There should be a close link between these two. Right? So that will be one of the problems you will face. How to coordinate the activity between these functional areas, with these functional areas. Then the second one is financial. Financial. That is one of the problems you will face. For a research and development, it is very difficult to finance the correct amount. In advance, you can't tell how much you want to allocate for the project. Very difficult. Therefore, especially these management accounting people will struggle when they are budgeting for the projects. Because at each stage, more money may be spent, no? In advance, you can't tell how much you want to spend. Very difficult to control also, actually. Later we'll discuss that one also. The same. The third one is evaluation and control. Evaluation and control. For financial people, very difficult to evaluate. What are the techniques normally you use to evaluate project? Finance. What are the technique? DCF, discount cash flows, payoff, no? You look at about this time period, no? Right? So different methods are used, no? But here very difficult. How can you do the evaluation? Because cash flow can't be correctly calculated. Right? Very difficult for controlling purpose also. Very difficult to identify the correct profit from these projects. It will not be an easy task for finance guys. That's another problem. The next one is cultural issues. What is cultural issues? Cultural issues. These R&D people have a different culture. If you look at our R&D department, they are academic people. They will have a different culture from the rest of the people in the organization. Do you agree with that point? PhD guys, in many organizations, PhD guys conduct research, no? PhD guys are different, no? Do you agree? PhD guy? So sometimes people call it, no, permanent head damage. PhD, no, permanent head damage. Correct? So research guys are different from others actually. I remember, so when I did my master's long time ago, there was a research guy, right? He conducted the research. He's completely different guy. Later I came to know that he has done research. He has done the most research in Sri Lanka than anybody else. Completely different. හිනා වුණාට මේක හිනා වෙන්නේ නැහැ. සමහරට අපි හිනා වෙන්නේ නැතු මේක හිනා වෙනවා. It's a different story. හිටපු ගමන් දකින්න කැප් එකක් දාගෙන පාරේ විදන් යනවා මෑන්. සෙරප්පු දෙකක් දාගෙන රබර් සෙරප්පු දෙකක් දාගෙන. උදේ පාන්දර කැම්පස් එකේ උදේ පාන්දර බෙල්ල බලාගෙන ඉන්නවා මෙහෙම. වට පිටාවේ. Different completely. තනියෙන් හිනා වෙනවා. Right? So academic people are different, no? That is a reality actually. So very difficult to move with others. That's true story actually. I have found that one. In real environment actually academic fails. Many academics actually selected their profession because they can't work in a normal environment. I have seen some guys who join with the organization, then again go out from the organization and join with the university and lecturing. Because they can't match with others in the organization. Real story. Right. So we'll look at about that. Problem is R&D. Problem is research and development. Then There are several potential problems with management of R&D within an organizations. First one, organization and management. When R&D is a separate department, there may be a problem with coordinating. That's the key word. Coordinating with productions and sales and marketing. Right? Those are two examples. Right? Then financial. R&D by nature not easily planned in advance. And financial performance targets are not easily set. Very difficult to set performance target. Budgeting for long-term complex development project with uncertain return can be very difficult for management accountant. Budgeting is not feasible here. Very difficult. Keyword is budgeting. When project take too long to complete, cost can get out of controls. The evaluation and control, pure research or even applied research may not have an obvious payoff in the short term. You may not get the short term return. This makes it difficult to assess the value of the work to the company. Then cultural issues, unless the organization has a culture that favor innovation, there may be problem with different cultures. The R&D department may have an academic or university atmosphere. See the word given? Academic or university atmosphere, right? As opposed to a commercial one. The rest of the organization may be bureaucratic and conservative and hostile to experimentation. Hostile කියලා කියන්නේ මොකද්ද? විරෝධ දක්වනවා කියන එකනේ. For experimentations, right? Hostile to experimentation and the risk of occasional failures. Right. This was tested in your exam. I will look at about the past paper question. December 2015 paper, question number 4. December 2015 paper, question number 4. Part A. Discuss the problem associated with R&D that MD of Pharmacare need to pay attention to when undertaking this new product development. See, problem associated with R&D. Problem with R&D. You have to talk about these 4, no? 4 points. Right, please do that one also at home. Homework questions. Next day morning I will go through these questions first. Right? Then we'll move to the next topic. Managing innovations. Managing innovations. Right. Shall I go through the induction part first? Some of the known things are there. I will go through induction. Look at the induction part given here. The pace of technological change is fast. Do you agree? Technology is changing rapidly, no? Yes, it is fast. All companies are affected by change to a greater or lesser extent. Yes, there is a saying, no? In the world, only one thing is not changing. The change word itself, no? Except change word, all other things are changing, right? If you are not changing, then you will die, no? For example, there are some animals, no? They fail to adjust to the environment and they die. They leave out the planet, no? Right? So all companies are affected by change to greater or lesser extent. To remain competitive, companies should respond to change and where appropriate, innovate. They have to innovate. However, the components of innovation differ between different industries and market. Innovation may vary from one industry to another because the pace and nature of technological change affect different markets in different ways. Everett Rogers popularized a theory on the diffusion of innovation and how innovation are adopted. So we'll discuss about this Everett Rogers diffusion of innovation theory. The strategic importance of innovation depends on how much value the innovation will create, whether innovative plus will give a company a competitive advantage over rival. Right. I will look at that one. According to this Roger, there are two factors that determine the strategic importance of innovations. What are the factors that determine the strategic importance of the innovations? The first factor is how much value the innovation will create. How much the value is created from the innovations. The second one is whether innovation first will give the company competitive advantage over rivals. Competitive advantage, whether it can provide a competitive advantage. There are two factors he has highlighted. First one is value factor, whether that particular innovation provide more value to the customers. There are certain innovations that may not give more value to the customer. If that happens, customer will not interest on that, no? So if a product is giving more value, then only customer will be interested. For example, if someone make a golden mouse trap, gold mouse trap, customer will not be much interested. From customer part is not much important, no? That will not give much value to them, right? That is one factor. Then the second factor is whether innovation can provide a competitive advantage for the organization. So more importantly, to have a sustainable competitive advantage, the innovation should be a product which should be very difficult to copy for others. If competitors can easily copy a particular innovation, then you will be able to get the competitive advantage only for short period. That is not worth, no? If it is difficult to copy for them, then you will be able to get a long-term competitive advantage. That's the next factor. Right. So we'll look at that also. The strategic importance of innovation depends on how much the value innovation will create, whether innovating first will give the company a competitive advantage over rival. Here the rival means the competitors, no? First factor, will it add value? Deciding whether an innovative product or service or an innovative process will add value require a commercial assessment. Experienced manager may be able to assess the value of an innovation from knowledge and experience. You can do valuations. A role of the accountant should also be to provide financial information that will help manager assess expected value and profitability. They can guess the customer demand, right? They can judge the cost and identify the profitability. The next one is, will it provide a competitive advantage? Being the first into the market with an innovation may provide a company with a competitive advantage, but only if the innovation is commercially successful and if competitors will not be able to copy the innovation quickly. It should be a commercially successful one. Customer should accept. At the same time, company should be struggle to copy that one easily and bring their rival innovative product to the market. Right? The answer to these questions will differ according to circumstances. Innovation may give a company a competitive advantage by giving it unique resource or core competence, but on the other hand, it may not. Sometimes it may give a competitive advantage, sometimes may not. There are many examples of companies that ignore innovation and opportunities for growth and as a result allow other companies to gain competitive advantage. In high technology industries, example of major companies that may have been slow to respond to technology changes have included IBM, Microsoft, AOL and Nike. Look at example given. Even Microsoft is there, no? Do you agree? Except Office Software, what are the other products they have? Only that, no. Am I correct? Yes, that's true. They are also not good in innovations. They don't have the same position, no? Earlier they had. Look at Amazon, for example. Now, not the Bill Gates is not the richest person in the world, no. Amazon only the richest person in the world. Earlier, Microsoft dominated, but now it's a different story. A true story. IBM complete failure, no. Now, no one is worried about IBM computer now. Companies should remain alert to change in their industry even if they do not seek to innovate themselves. They should watch the market carefully for innovation by competitors. Then the make නිකන් කියෝගෙන යනවා. Just a story, no. දැන් මේකෙන් ප්‍රශ්නයක් අහන්න බෑ exam එකේ. Normal examiner will not test a question from this. One time නිකන් කියෝගෙන යනවා. ආසාවට කියෝගෙන යනවා. පාඩම් කරන්න දෙයක් නෑ මේකේ. Right? Right. Then next one, innovation diffusion model. A very important one. Very important one. Innovation diffusion model. This was tested one time in your exam. Innovation diffusion model. Right. If you look about this theory of diffusion of innovation, they concern with the way in which new ideas and innovations innovations are spread and adapted by users. Look at this one. Innovation diffusion model concern about the way in which new ideas and innovations are spread. You know what is spread, no? What is the single word? පැතිරලා යනවා කියන එක නේ ස්ප්‍රෙඩ් කියලා කියන්නේ. අලුත් භාණ්ඩයක් වෙළඳපොළට આવොත් එහෙම ඒක මිනිස්සු කොච්චර ඉක්මනට දැනගන්නවද කියන එක නේ. Right? New ideas and innovation are spread, right? And adapted by users. Not only they come to know about that one, right? The next thing is they should use that one, no? Adapted by the users. So here we look at about that process. People come to know about the new product, the process, and they started to use that one, right? Right. Then what is diffusion? So we look at the diffusion also. What is the meaning of here diffusions? We'll try to define diffusion also. Diffusion mean the process by which an innovation is communicated. An innovation is communicated through certain channels, over time among members of a social system. Look at the diffusion. Here diffusion refers to the process by which an innovation is communicated through certain channel over time among members of a social system. Here we look at about the process. From that particular process, people come to know about these innovations with the time, right? You know that people in a social system, no? There are certain social system which are born together. Think about your organization sometime. There are some organization, there are people are connected very closely, right? So then, for example, new idea. For example, in organization context, actually gossip actually. Look at about gossip. There are certain system spread very quickly. A similar thing here. We talk about the social system. That means the people in the environment, no? They have a system. So within that system, how people come to know about this new product. There are certain systems where quickly they may come to know about this. There are some system, it may take times. Right. We look at about the induction part. The theory of diffusion of innovation is concerned with the way in which new ideas and innovation are spread and adopted by users. The theory of diffusion was popularized by Everett Rogers. Diffusions can be defined as the process by which an innovation is communicated through certain channel over time among members of a social system. Innovation must be adopted by a sufficient number of people to become sustainable, and there is a point where diffusion reaches critical mass. Critical mass mean more people, no? Right? A critical mass. Rogers argue that there are 4 factors that influence the diffusion of an innovations. That is important. This is not tested, but can be tested. What are the factors that influence the diffusion of an innovation? That means, whether the people are going to know about this particular product very quickly or not. Whether they are interested to know about this particular product or not. Right? So in your exam, that can be tested. Right? The factors influence the diffusion of an innovations. Factors influence the diffusion of an innovations. The first factor is the nature of the innovation itself. Nature of the innovation itself. What is the nature of the innovations? For example, I earlier gave an example for you. If someone make a mousetrap, golden mousetrap, people may not be much interested. If you hear about a new car which can be used for prime purpose also, you may be more interested. No, when you hear such news, you may twice look at about that one. Right? So the nature of the innovation itself, that is one factor. Then the next one is the channel of communication that are used to spread information about and knowledge of the innovation within the social system. Channels of communication use. Channel of communication use to give the awareness about the innovations. For example, if you publish an advertisement in a Siluminu newspaper about new product, the number of people who come to know about will be very limited number. For example, for the last 15 years, I have never read the Siluminu newspaper. Like watching ITN news. So, but if you publish that one in a Lankadweep, it will be a different story, no? The channel of communication you are using to communicate about the new products. That is the second factor. Then the third one is the time for the innovation to spread through the social system. The time for the innovation to spread in the social system. What is total time it take to know about the product in the social system? That's the third factor, right? Then the fourth factor is the social system. Fourth factor is social system. What about the social system? How about the people in the social system? Whether they share a common culture. If they share a common culture, it may be spread very quickly. But we'll say within the social system, there are subcultures. They are not connected to each other. Different subcultures. Then it will take more time, no? To spread the message. Right? Right. The next one is important. 5 stages in the acceptance of an innovations. You want to know that. 5 stages in the acceptance of an innovations. What are the 5 stages in the acceptance of an innovations? There are 5 stages you have to pass to adopt the innovations. 5 stages in the acceptance of an innovations. We call AITA model. This is called AITA model. AIETA. AITA model. What is AITA model? Right. So here, first letter mean the awareness. That's the starting point. Awareness. Second one mean interest. Third one is evaluations. Fourth one is trial. Fifth one is adoptions. There are 5 stages of accepting and innovations. The first one is awareness. That's the starting point. Come to know about the new products. For example, when advertising the product, people may come to know about new products. Right, that's the starting point. Then the next one is interest. When people hear about the same thing again and again, what will happen? People may have created an interest on that. That's the second stage. Awareness means just to know about the product. With the time, what will happen when people hear it again and again, they will have an interest on that. They will develop an interest on that. Right? And the third one is now, when you hear from few sources, now you're thinking about buying. Before buying, what you'll do? You'll do the evaluation work. You may ask from the people who have already purchased the goods, whether it is good or bad. In your mind, you will do a lot of evaluation, no? Think about buying a phone. You may have done this one. You may ask from different people, no? And then so at the end evaluations, you may take a decision, no? Not to buy or buy 2 products. You may take a decision. Sometime at the end, you may take a decision to buy it or not to buy it. If you take a decision to buy it, then you go to next stage, trial. Trial means you purchase the product and use it. Right? Then adoption, if you're happy with the product, then what will do? Again and again, you will use the product. That is adoption. That is stage number 5. Right. Then the next thing is, if you look at about the users of an innovative product, they can be grouped into few groups. They can be grouped into few groups. Innovators, then trendsetters, or we call same as early adopters, trendsetters or early adopters. Then third one, early majority, then late majority, then laggards. laggards. If you look at about the users of a new product, that can be divided into 5 groups. Innovators, early adopters, early majority, late majority, laggards. The innovators mean the people who purchase the good at the beginning. They are risk takers. And when they hear about new product, they go to the marketplace and buy it. They are not thinking much on that. As a percentage, some research have found as a percentage, it is around 2.5%. 2.5%. If you look at the total number of users, around 2.5% people normally buy product at the beginning. The next group is early adapters. Early adapters, we call them as trendsetters also. Right? Early adapters, after these innovators, they purchase the products. Early adapter, early no, comparatively, they also early purchase the products. As a percentage, it is around 13.5%. Research found it is around 13.5%. Then early majority, that is normally around 34%. Now 50% is covered, no? Early majority, right? Then the late majority is 34%. After these people, they purchase the products. Late. They are late, no? Then laggards. Laggard mean the group who finally purchase the product. ඔක්කොම බාණ්ඩය අරගත්තට පස්සේ අවසානයේදී බාණ්ඩය මිලදී ගන්න කට්ටිය තමයි laggards කියලා කියනවා. හිතලා 1000ක් හිතලා. There are some guys like that, no? They are laggards. As a percentage, they are around 16%. Right, so we'll go through the notes. Rogers also suggests that there are 5 stages in the acceptance of an innovation. That is key. Highlight that one, 5 stages. That is important. First one is awareness. Awareness. Individuals are exposed to the innovation but do not have complete information about it. Exposed just to come to, they just come to know about the products. Interest. Individuals become interested in the innovation and seek more information about it. When they hear it, they started to make an interest on that. Then evaluations. Evaluation. Individuals think about the innovation and apply it to their own personal circumstances. Evaluation lead on to a decision to try the innovation. At the end of the evaluations, they take a decision, no, whether they are going to use it or not. Then trial, individual make full use of an innovation to test it. They buy it and test it. Then adoptions, individual are satisfied with the innovation and decide to continue to use it. Rogers suggested that there is a life cycle to the adoption of an innovations. First one, innovators, I told you 2.5%. There's an initial small group who are the first people to test the new product. Then early adopters or trendsetters. A large group adopt the product next. That is around 13.5%. Then early majority 34%, late majority 34%. Laggard, at the final group, they purchase the products. After the early adopters, large number of people in the social system adopt the innovations. The critical mass is reached at some stage during the early majority or later majority stage of adoptions. බහුතරය අපි මෙතනින් තමයි cover කරන්නේ නේ. Alright. Then the implication of the innovation diffusion model for managers are that when planning to introduce a new product to the market, management need to understand the adoption life cycle. They want to know about this, at what time they are going to purchase the products. The factors that influence the adoption of an innovation. They want to know factors influence the adoption of an innovations. Managers should want their new product to be adopted as quickly as possible by their target customers. The adoption process may be spread by first one, providing easily accessible information about new product through advertising and on the organization website. You have to provide more information to the customer, then they will get it very quickly. Another one is emphasizing in this information the potential benefit for users of the new product. You have to inform about the new benefit of the products. Next one, distributing the product in a way that make it easy for early adopter to buy the product for testing. Right. So remember this process. I will they will not test about this percentage actually. Right. You want to know about this ITA process. 5 stages should be known to you. Today I have got an additional material. I hope you have received that. This one, diffusion of innovations. This one. Here these 4 factors have been explained in details. The factors, 4 factors affecting the diffusion of innovation have been explained in details. You can read this article also. You can get more by reading these particular articles. Then past paper question quickly. Right, go to past paper questions. December 2015 paper, question number 4, part B. December 2015 paper, question number 4, part B. I'm repeating the same question, right? Part B. Outline the stages that customer would typically pass through when adapting to the new line of Ayurvedic medicine with reference to the innovation diffusion model. 5 marks. You develop your answer based on ITA model. So please do that one also at home. Now so many homework, then you have been given self-work in paper number 1. You have that, no? Please do that one also at home and submit to me in next week. And next week we'll meet around 7 o'clock. Please come at 7, right? So first of all, I will discuss the homework question given. Right? After that, I will start to discuss the balance part of the tute number 1. Then I will move to the supply chain management tute.